Over the last year or so since this series began, we have together covered, investigated and looked over 5 of the Halo titles, including Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo Reach, and just recently Halo 4 finally made an appearance. With all of these games behind us now, I have decided to sift through in amongst a never-ending catalogue of Easter eggs, which are all truly amazing, staggering and remarkable, to pick out just 20 to enter into my list, as this is the Easter Egg Hunters Top 20 Easter Eggs from the Halo series. Welcome everyone to the home of finding sweet chocolate Easter eggs within our video games. Well, okay, perhaps not chocolate ones, but it's as good as having and finding the real thing, but just on a different level, as this is the Easter Egg Hunter. At number 20. Launching us into this mammoth list are the GR dolls that hid away within the anniversary map pack for Halo Reach's multiplayer option. These dolls could be found on all of the levels, but some were really well camouflaged and disguised, and definitely required plumping many hours into the game in order to find them. Sadly, you weren't rewarded in any way, but they did give off a squeaky toy effect when you hit them with your weapon. At number 19. Bungie's co-founder Jason Jones has made numerous cameos plus appearances over the years within the Halo series, and most notably for his half-naked guy Easter egg, which is also known as the Lonely Soul. My favourite version of this is located in Halo 2 during the Gravemind level, where after the lengthy cutscene intro between the Arbiter John 117 and the Gravemind, the scene swiftly changes to the planetoid of High Charity, where lurking in the background, Jason Jones is being ushered away by an army of grunts. At number 18. Immediately moving on, we are now casting an eye on Halo 3 for the infamous Peeing Brute scene, which is located on the Ark level from the Rally Point Bravo section of Real Men Don't Read Maps. During this segment, 343 Guilty Spark guides you around various rooms, but it was at this particular area that allowed you to sneak through an army of sleeping grunts, while you got the opportunity to check out a Peeing Brute in the corner of the room. At number 17. My last look at the Halo series featured Halo 4, and the one Easter egg that really did make me chuckle were those 2 crate guarding Marines voiced by Conan O'Brien, the American television host, and sidekick Andy Richter. These guys are tucked away in the corner of the Pelican hangar in the mission of shutdown from the beginning of the level, and here's what they had to say.
This is a pretty sweet union we're in.
It's fantastic.
Stand near the crates, but don't ever move them.
Right. And if anybody even looks at the crates, that's a violation.
Oh yeah.
At number 16. Chris Carney, Bungie's environment artist, designer, plus software developer, plonked his head in 2 awesome positions throughout 2 of the multiplayer maps. One was located in Halo 2's level of containment, where you can see his head within the Halo ring by using a sniper rifle. And the second time we got to see him was in Halo 3's level of standoff, as he was lurking in the bottom right hand corner of the moon's surface. At number 15. Up next on the countdown inventory is that Marine that was secretly concealed at the beginning of 343 Guilty Spark's mission from Halo Combat Evolved. Once the mission was underway, a Pelican lands on the deck where usually you would jump out to take down the Covenant. However, if you chucked out your grenades, you would remain seated in the Pelican, which would then blast off to land in another area. Where here, after much searching, you could find a Marine standing in a misty open field containing no weapons and with nothing to say other than blinking his eyelids at you. At number 14. For the second time, Halo Reach makes an entry into the list with another cracking egg that turned up between the final mission of Lone Wolf. As once the cutscene had finished, you were required to save, quit, then proceed back to the main menu to enter into the theatre mode, where here you could play back your latest film. As the film began to roll, you needed to rewind it back to 0, then press B followed by Y, which would then activate the free cam mode, thus allowing you to travel to an island in the distance, where here you could find an unrendered Master Chief statue standing on one of the metal platforms. At number 13. Enclosed in two of Halo's titles, the famous word of Rex made in blood splatter was plastered out of sight for explorers to find. The one I covered was in Halo Combat Evolved, right at the death of the game, on the Maw mission, where eventually you were seated in your Warthog trying to escape. Once Cortana had mentioned about a gap in the trench, you could sail down to a lower tunnelled area, where instead of continuing on to live, turn around to use the Warthog as a means to gain access to a high ledge that led on to a darkened doorway. That, if illuminated, would bring up that blooded Rex message, which actually represented the username of Ferex, owned by Tyson Green. At number 12. Throughout every game of Halo that Bungie oversaw, and not including Halo 4, the Song of Siege of Madrigal, famous for featuring in Bungie's earlier title of Myth, could be heard by standing in certain spots in the games. A classic example of this was in Halo 3 at the mission of the Covenant, where after defeating two Scarabs towards the end of the level, you could then proceed and fly towards the Citadel building, that is, of course, if you were seated within a Hornet, where if you headed towards the left side, a platform could be landed upon to allow you to walk along a narrow beam which led to a slope. Once you had conquered the slope, the Siege of Madrigal would ring out a few seconds later. Another decent version of this was located in Club Herrera in Halo Reach, where this time it had been remixed, allowing you to boogie on down alongside a bunch of dancing grunts. At number 11. At the end of this first look into my top 20 Halo Easter eggs, sees us gazing at the final moments of Halo Reach. And with that, I will leave you with the footage from my Halo Reach episode, as this is the Easter Egg Hunter, cracking out. Until next time, where you'll be fighting and battling your way towards the Pillar of Autumn, where Noble 6 will eventually discover his or hers fate, but in the process of doing so, Noble 6 will end up trying to protect the Pillar of Autumn from being destroyed by using a mass driver to take down the Covenant cruiser.
Fire now, Lieutenant! Hit her in the gut! Aim for the glassing port!
Upon successfully completing this mission, a cutscene will play
All
out.
stations, brace for cast-off.
As it does so, you'll notice a Pelican boarding the Pillar of Autumn, and just as it lands, if you push the right control stick to the right, you will see Master Chief, aka John 117, laying dormant in his cryo chamber. Well, hello again. If you would like to see or achieve any of these Easter eggs I have talked about in this countdown list so far, then please follow the links in the description bar to the various Halo episodes on offer.